Let me ask you a simple question. When was the last time you enjoyed a warm, home-cooked meal that truly made you feel alive? Not just satisfied, but deeply nourished, comforted by the flavors, the smells, and the love that went into preparing. Now imagine this. What if those very meals could add years to your life? What if the simple act of chopping, stirring, and seasoning could help protect your heart, sharpen your mind, and even bring you more joy and connection in your later years? It might sound almost too good to be true, but the evidence is all around us. People who cook at home regularly not only eat better, but also live better. And for those of us in our 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, home cooking might just be one of the most powerful longevity tools we have. Today, I want to share with you 6 profound reasons why cooking at home can extend your life and improve its quality. I'll tell you stories of people who discovered this truth for themselves, and I'll give you gentle encouragement to rediscover the kitchen as a place of healing, growth, and joy. So, let's begin this journey together. Point 1. Home cooking puts you in control of what you eat. One of the most dangerous myths of modern life is that we know what we're eating when we dine out. But the reality is often very different. Restaurants, even those that advertise healthy options, rely heavily on sugar, salt, and processed oils to keep food consistent and appealing. Take Margaret, a 67-year-old grandmother from Ohio. For years, she ate out several times a week, often at chain restaurants with menus labeled light or heart healthy. She thought she was doing well. But after her doctor recommended more home-cooked meals, she started experimenting in her own kitchen. She quickly realized that a grilled chicken salad from her favorite diner had more sugar in the dressing than a can of soda, and nearly twice the sodium she'd use at home. By making her own version, simple grilled chicken, fresh greens, a squeeze of lemon, and a drizzle of olive oil, she cut out hundreds of hidden calories and chemicals. Within months, her blood pressure lowered, her energy returned, and she proudly said, "I feel like I've taken back control of my body." That's the beauty of home cooking. It's not about restriction, it's about empowerment. You know exactly what's going into your meals, and that knowledge is power. Point 2. Cooking at home helps you save money and stress. We often think of eating out as convenient, but in truth, it's often the opposite. Waiting in line, paying high prices, feeling disappointed with the quality, it can drain both your wallet and your spirit. George, a retired teacher from Melbourne, shared his experience. He used to grab takeout most evenings because he didn't want the hassle of cooking for one. But one day, after adding up his monthly spending, he was shocked. Eating out was costing him nearly as much as his utility bills combined. So, he decided to change. He started cooking simple meals: soups, stir-fries, roasted vegetables. To his surprise, he found them not only cheaper but also faster. Instead of waiting 30 minutes for delivery, he could make a hearty vegetable soup in 20 minutes and have leftovers for days. Over time, the savings allowed George to treat himself in other ways, like traveling to see his grandchildren more often. But what struck him most was the peace of mind. No more last-minute stress about dinner. No more guilt about the cost. Just the quiet contentment of nourishing himself well, day after day. When we reduce financial and emotional stress, we create a foundation for better health. Cooking at home isn't just an economic choice. It's a lifestyle of calm and balance. Point 3. Cooking strengthens connections and community. We often underestimate how deeply loneliness affects health. Studies now show that social isolation can be as harmful as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. For many older adults, meals are one of the most natural and joyful ways to create connection. Susan, a 72-year-old widow in London, experienced this firsthand. After her husband passed, she often found herself eating toast for dinner, sitting alone at the kitchen table. She admitted it made her feel invisible, but one day she joined a local church group where members cooked meals together once a week. Each person brought one ingredient. One brought onions, another pasta, another fresh herbs. And together they created simple, delicious meals. The food was wonderful, but Susan said the real gift was the laughter, the stories, the sense of belonging. She rediscovered her love of cooking and began inviting neighbors over for Sunday roasts. "Cooking brought me back to life," she said. "Sharing meals is about more than nutrition. It's about reminding ourselves that we matter, that we're connected, and that joy is always best when shared." Point 4. Cooking at home encourages more movement and mental activity. We often think of exercise as something we do in a gym, but movement can be found in daily life too. Cooking is one of those sneaky ways to stay active. Think of the small things: walking around the kitchen, bending to grab a pot, stirring a sauce, kneading dough. They may not seem like much, but together they add up. For older adults, even light daily movement helps maintain mobility, balance, and independence. Robert, a 76-year-old from California, noticed this change. After retiring, he became sedentary, watching television most of the day. His doctor warned him about muscle loss and suggested he find a hobby. Robert turned to cooking. Suddenly, his days had rhythm. In the morning, he'd chop vegetables. In the afternoon, he'd bake bread. In the evening, he'd try a new recipe from a cookbook. Not only was he on his feet more often, but he also felt his mind sharpen. Reading recipes, experimenting with spices, solving little problems like, what can I substitute if I don't have this ingredient? These became daily puzzles that kept his brain active. Cooking isn't just fuel for the body, it's exercise for the mind and movement for the body. Both are vital to healthy aging. Point 5. Home cooking helps you eat more fresh and seasonal foods. When we cook at home, we naturally reach for whole, fresh foods. This is especially true when we shop local or visit farmers markets. These foods aren't just more flavorful, they're loaded with nutrients that support longevity. Linda, a 63-year-old from Sydney, made a small change that transformed her life. Instead of shopping only at big supermarkets, she began visiting her local farmers market each Saturday. She filled her basket with vibrant produce: zucchinis, fresh herbs, citrus fruits, and colorful root vegetables. Cooking with these ingredients became a joy. She discovered the taste of seasonal eating: crisp asparagus in spring, juicy tomatoes in summer, earthy squash in autumn. She felt more connected to nature's rhythms, and her meals became more nourishing and diverse. Science supports what Linda discovered. Diets rich in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains are linked to lower risks of heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. By cooking at home, we naturally increase these foods in our diet, while reducing the processed, packaged items that harm health. Point 6. Cooking creates joy, pride, and a sense of purpose. Finally, perhaps the most overlooked benefit of home cooking is emotional. Cooking is not just a task, it's a creative act. It's a way of saying, I matter enough to care for myself. Take John and Mary, a retired couple from Scotland. Every Saturday, they set aside time to cook together. Sometimes it's a new dish from a cookbook, sometimes it's a childhood favorite. They laugh, they make mistakes, they celebrate their little successes. John once said, "We don't just cook dinner, we make memories." That joy matters. Studies show that people who feel a sense of purpose and accomplishment live longer, healthier lives. Cooking provides that purpose, whether it's trying a new recipe, preparing food for a loved one, or simply sitting down to enjoy something you've made with your own hands. Food is love, and cooking is one of the purest ways to show that love, to yourself and to others. So, what have we learned? Cooking at home isn't just about food. It's about life. It's about control over your health, reducing stress, building community, moving your body, nourishing yourself with fresh ingredients, and finding joy in creativity. And yes, these habits can add years to your life. But perhaps more importantly, they can add life to your years, making them richer, fuller, and more meaningful. Now I'd love to hear from you. Do you find cooking at home to be a joy? What meal reminds you of love, comfort, or family? Share your story in the comments. I'd be honored to read it. And if you found this video inspiring, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone you care about. Because sometimes, the greatest gift we can give one another is the reminder that a simple, home-cooked meal can change everything. Thank you for spending this time with me. Here's to many more meals and to the beautiful years they will bring.